I looked out over the beautiful azure waters and watched as small waves crashed onto the snow-white sand. I felt such peace, such happiness, being here with my wife as we celebrated our 30th anniversary. A few moments ago, the tranquility of this island paradise was shattered. Mary, let me get this straight. We are here celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary on this romantic island, and you are telling me that you want to spend the night with another man. How can you even ask me such a question? Mark, honey, don't be like that. You know I love you more than anything in the world. I just want to do this for John and Amy. I know you were as touched by their story as I was. It will only be one night to bring some happiness to a dying and lonely old man. And besides, it doesn't mean you'll be left all alone. I saw the way you look at Amy. She is a beautiful young woman. Yes, Amy is a beautiful young woman, but she is not my wife. I know she wants you with her father and is willing to fuck me to seal the deal, but she is not my wife. I have never cheated on you, and 5 minutes ago I believed that you would never cheat on me. I've never cheated on you, Mark, and I never will. That's why we're having this conversation. Amy and I talked about it all day while you and John were jet skiing. She knows how lonely John has been since he lost his wife 3 years ago. Now, with his diagnosis, he has less than 6 months to live. Mark, she just wants him to enjoy a woman's pleasure one more time before he gets too sick to do so. But why not just find him a prostitute? Heck, if they can afford a vacation on this island, they can afford a prostitute? Amy said she tried to do it on the mainland before they left, and John got really angry with her. He doesn't believe in prostitution. He says that any woman who comes to his bed must do so voluntarily and with his desire, and not for his money. So you're saying you desire John? You said it would be a pity sex, but now you say you want it. So it's not just about being kind and loving to the dying man. You want to fuck that old man. Don't be rude. Yes, John is a handsome and charming man. He has a kind and gentle manner, but he is also very masculine. So while I wouldn't do it if he wasn't dying, I admit that I think I'll like it. But having said that, just look at Amy. She's 20 years younger than us, and gorgeous. You can't tell me you won't love it. So, Mary, it looks like you've already decided that you're going to spend the night in his bed. I'm guessing Amy told John about your wish. Have you discussed this with him? Have you already told him that I agreed to let you do this? Yes, Mark. I was talking to John while you were taking a shower. I told him a little white lie. I told him we've swapped partners before, and you really want to be with Amy. Amy told him that she couldn't wait to be with you two. He was very reluctant, but eventually agreed. I told him that I would arrive at their villa at 7:30 and Amy would arrive at the same time. So this is what you're really doing to ask my permission. You're just telling me it's done. I really have no say in this matter at all. Well, let me say this. I disagree. If you do this, our marriage could be ruined forever. I can't stop you without physically restraining you, and you know I would never hurt you, but this would certainly hurt us. Mark, it's just something I feel obligated to do. Making love to a lonely older man, giving him one last chance to feel like a real man, I just had to do it for him. Please, Mark, enjoy your time with Amy, and tomorrow, we will be together again. Forever. Mary stood up and walked back to our villa to get ready for her evening. I sat and looked at the water. How could this happen to me? My wife leaves me to spend the night with a man I just met a couple of days ago, a man who must be at least 60 years old. Mary has always been soft-hearted, and now she wants to fuck some soft-hearted old man out of pity? No, that's just her excuse. She adores this old charmer and uses his diagnosis as an excuse to have sex with him. Well, I'm not going to make it easy for her. I got up and headed to the villa. Mary was dressed in a light summer dress and sandals. I could smell the expensive perfume I gave her before we left home. She was putting on her second diamond earring. Stop! I bought you these earrings as a sign of my love for you, not to make you look good by cheating on me. Take them off, and don't wear the perfume I bought you. Wash it off immediately. It's enough that you humiliate me and cuckold me tonight. I'll be damned if you're going to do that while wearing my anniversary gifts. Mark, You're being stupid. I'm not cuckolding you. We have agreed to it. We're switching places. You'll be with Amy. Now go away and let me get dressed. I took 3 quick steps across the room and grabbed her left wrist. I took her wedding rings off my finger and extended my hand. Give me the earrings or I'll rip them out of your ears. With a frightened look, Mary took off her earrings and put them in my hand. I put them in my pocket and turned to leave. Don't bother coming back tomorrow. You can just stay with them. I went to the refrigerator, poured a 6-pack of beer, and walked back to my chair on the beach. I took a sip of my beer and stared at the water. Everything was spinning in my head. What should I do? What can I do? If Mary came to me right now and said that she had canceled everything, I'm not sure that I could forgive her. If she goes to him tonight, our marriage will be over. I sat and languished for over an hour before Amy came up to me. Mark, I was looking for you. Do you want me to join you here or do you want to come inside? Amy walked around my chair and stood in front of me. Amy, you are a beautiful young woman, but I am a married man, at least for now. I know you and Mary had an agreement for this evening, but I never agreed with your plan. I told Mary I didn't agree and she went to John anyway. She's cheating on me with your father, and I'll divorce her as soon as we get home. My God, Mark, you can't think like that. You know why she does it. It's an act of kindness. She's not cheating. She loves you, and I know you love her. Please, Mark, let me take your mind off this. Amy took one thin strap of her summer dress off her shoulder, then the other. Her dress fell to her feet. Completely naked, she stood in front of me. She truly was a beauty. Light brown hair fluttered in the wind. Graceful hands lay on the curve of her hips. Fiery red nails contrasted with her tanned body. She waited until my gaze returned to her, and then smiled. I think we could have some fun. She's having fun. You deserve some fun, too. Mark, I was really looking forward to being with you tonight. Please, let's go inside and let me help you forget about her for one evening. My eyes locked onto the sexy blonde as she reached out to me and asked me to take her inside. The 4 beers I drank were almost enough to let my lust take over my brain, but my anger prevailed. I stood up, grabbed Amy's hand, and walked into my villa. I went straight to the bedroom, telling Amy to get the wine out of the refrigerator. I entered the bedroom and slammed the door, sliding the small bolt. Mark, let me in. Why are you doing it? Please, Mark, open the door and let me in. Please, Mark. Amy, my wife decided to cheat on me. This does not mean that I should follow her example. I made a vow and will keep it until I can divorce her. You can leave or you can sleep on the couch. Either way, you won't sleep with me. Amy tried to convince me to open the door before finally giving up. I lay down in bed and pulled the pillow over my head. I was emotionally exhausted, and with the help of beer, I fell asleep. I woke up to another knock on the bedroom door. Mark, open up. Let me in. Mark. This time, the voice belonged to my unfaithful future ex-wife. She knocked on the door. Mark, dear, please open the door. We need to talk. We need to put this behind us. Please, Mark. I love you. I know I hurt you, but it's over now and we can be together today. Please, Mark. This is our last day on the island. I want to spend it with you, my husband, the only man I have ever loved. The room was filled with bright morning sun. I had a bit of a headache and knocking on the door didn't help at all. I got out of bed, walked to the door, and pulled back the bolt. Mary burst into the room and rushed to hug me. I pushed her away harshly. Don't touch me, you dirty cheater. You come to me, fresh from his bed, and expect me to take you into my arms? You must be completely crazy. I can smell it on you even from here. Go to the shower and clean yourself up. Mary gasped in horror, and then burst into tears. She turned and ran to the bathroom, screaming, Sorry! I am so sorry! I didn't think so! Mark, please, I'll be out in a few minutes. I'm so sorry. I went to the kitchen and made coffee. I wished we had cell service on the island so I could get out of here before our 6 p.m. flight. I looked at my watch, 11:30. That means I have to be alone with her all damn day. Mary entered the kitchen. She had a towel wrapped around her and her wet locks hung over her bare shoulders. 2 days ago, I would have jumped out of my chair and embraced my beautiful wife in my arms. Today, I just looked at her while sipping my coffee. Mark, now I'm all clean. I washed everything several times. Mark, please, I'm still me. I'm still your wife. Please, baby, say something. Put some fucking clothes on, and then we need to talk about what's going to happen. But Mark, aren't you going to get your wife back? Amy and John said you'd want me back. They said you'll fuck me harder than ever. Please, Mark, I want you to take me back, make me yours again. Shut your mouth, you damn cow. I'll never touch you again. Now get your cheating ass over there and put on some clothes. Mary burst into tears and ran into the bedroom, slamming the door. She returned as I poured the rest of the coffee into my cup. Mary saw the empty coffee pot and realized that she shouldn't ask me to make more coffee. She quietly filled the pan and turned it on. As soon as the tea was brewed, she poured a cup and sat down at the table. Mark, Amy told me that you locked yourself out of her at night. I don't understand why you did this. I thought you'd have her all night and then be so excited to tell me all about it this morning. I thought we'd have a good laugh about our adventures, and then you'd make love to me all day. God, who the hell are you? You can't be the same woman I married 30 years ago. How could you even believe that I would agree to this fucking plan? Mark, we are on a tiny island. The other 2 villas are empty, so there are only 4 of us. No one will ever know what we did here. You had a beautiful young woman begging you to fuck her, and you received my blessing for this. What person in their right mind would miss such an opportunity? You just don't understand this. I loved you, only you. It wouldn't matter that no one else would know what I did, because I would know what I did. I made a vow, and vows mean that you do what you promise, even if no one is watching. Obviously, your vows mean nothing to you, but they meant everything to me, and you broke them. Mark, I thought you would like it. I knew you were in a little pain, but I thought that once you started with Amy, you'd really like it. I didn't know you locked yourself in the bedroom from her until she told us about it this morning. I just assumed you had a wonderful night, just like you, Mary. You mean, how was your wonderful night with John? Hell yes, it was a wonderful night. John is an excellent lover, and I really had a wonderful night. You could have had a wonderful night too, but no, you were supposed to be a fucking saint. Well, it's your own damn fault that you missed your wonderful evening. I waited until I had my anger under control. Then I calmly said, No, Mary, I already had 5 wonderful nights with you. I didn't need a wonderful night with Amy. I was looking forward to another wonderful night with you, but you chose to be with John because you believed he needed you. Well, I needed you too, but I guess it just wasn't important to you. I stood up and walked to my sun lounger. I pulled my beach hat over my eyes and tried to sleep. About an hour later, a large shadow flashed in front of me. I looked into the grinning face of my wife's lover. Hey, buddy, I'm really sorry about the mix-up. I swear I thought you were on board with the plan last night. He tried to seem sincere, but couldn't quite hide his smirk. Then I realized that it was all a trick. The lying bastard sold Mary a sob story, and the stupid bitch bought it. This guy gets his kicks by tricking married women into having sex, and is using Amy to help make it happen. I understand, John. I stood up slowly. John extended his right hand for a handshake. I looked at his face, and his grin was triumphant. He truly believed he had outplayed me. I casually raised my left hand in an awkward handshake. John looked at my left hand. I raised my right fist and drove it into his throat. John immediately grabbed his throat with both hands and stumbled back. I stepped forward. John fell to his knees, and I hit him in the temple with my elbow. I seriously thought about dragging his limp body into the water and drowning the son of a bitch. But then I heard Mary scream. I turned around and saw her running towards me. She ran past me straight to the unconscious body stretched out on the beach. Oh my God, what have you done? Oh, John, are you okay? Mary lightly spanked John, bringing him back to consciousness. I had to laugh. She smacked him very close to where I hit him with my elbow. I thought that must have hurt, really hurt. I returned to the villa and went inside for a beer and a snack. I sat on the porch and watched as Mary and Amy helped the overweight John stagger back into the villa. As he got closer, he turned and looked at me. The triumphant grin disappeared, and in its place I saw only fear. I didn't see Mary until the boat arrived. She quickly collected her things and hurried to the pier with them. When we got on the boat, Amy and Mary spoke to the crew member, and I'm guessing he was using the radio to contact the mainland because we were greeted by some uniformed cop. "Mark and Mary Stevens?" I nodded. "Please come with me." We followed the man into a small office and he pointed to a couple of chairs. We sat down and he offered us a drink before getting serious. "I understand you had a run-in with Ron Cook and his playmate Amber Jones." "No, officer, you're mistaken. These are the Phillipses, John and his daughter Amy," Mary said, looking intently at me. "Oh, were those the names they used this time?" "I beg your pardon, officer. John and Amy are my new friends and my husband attacked poor John for no reason." "Madam, do me a favor and shut the fuck up. I want to talk to Mr. Stevens and I don't want to be interrupted." I laughed. "Please call me Mark. How can I help, officer?" "Mark, I think you must have understood Cook's game, and that's why you, expressed your displeasure during your, conversation?" "Maybe, but I won't admit anything." The gentleman laughed. "You speak like a true American. Well, Mark, this is the 5th time Cook has played this game with some gullible tourist. This is at least the 5th case that we have learned about in connection with some kind of complaint or quarrel. I have no idea how many times he just got away with it. I understand Miss Jones's next step is to contact your wife in a few months and tell her that her lover has passed away. She will then ask the woman for some money to help bring Cook's body back to the States to be buried next to his late wife." Wow, this is a bigger scam than I thought. He convinces stupid wives to sleep with him and then makes his slut deceive them again to get some money. Not a bad play. Yes, but thanks to you, I guess he will be out of the game, at least at our resort. Well, who is Jones? Obviously, she is not a daughter. Amber Jones was a stripper in a club in Miami when Cook met her. He had just won a small prize in the lottery and convinced her that he was very rich. She traveled with him for a while until he developed this scam, and now that's pretty much all they do. She wants to become an actress and thinks it will help her study. Cook just loves cuckolding their husbands and then forcing their stupid wives to send Amber money. He boasted that it was like making cuckolds pay him for raping their wives. At this moment, Mary, with tears rolling down her face, began to sob and lament. "Oh, God, I'm so stupid. I abandoned my husband by believing this lie." "Mrs. Stevens, you are not the first woman to be deceived by these two. I have 2 more ladies who want to press charges of fraud against Cook and Jones. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Stevens, if you wish to waive the charges, I think I can persuade Mr. Cook to do the same. In any case, your plane leaves in the morning, and once you are in the air, you will be out of my jurisdiction." I looked at Mary, she nodded and said, "I just want to go home. Please, Mark, just take me home." When she got home, Mary tried to convince me how sorry she was that she had done something so terrible. She claimed that she was deceived or perhaps even hypnotized by John and was out of her mind when she cheated. I served her at home 5 days after we landed. She suffered a nervous breakdown and was hospitalized for several months. This didn't stop the divorce. She tried to get our adult children to step in and help her, but once I told them the whole story, they refused to help her. She finally gave in, and we agreed to the standard 50-50 split. We sold the house for a pretty penny. I have to pay child support for the next 10 years, and then she'll have a nice little nest to fall back on. Sometimes I think back and am amazed at how a trip to heaven ended my 30-year marriage and left me to grow old all alone. Luckily, my daughter had other plans for me and introduced me to her neighbor. We hit it off, and it looks like things might get serious, but I can guarantee that we will not be spending our honeymoon on an island paradise. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one. Listening to the next one. Listening to the next one.